We saw Odin in the Assassin's Creed Valhalla cinematic trailer.
Odin is with us!
But the question now is, was that real, just a vision, or something else? How does Assassin's Creed Valhalla treat mythology? We got some ideas thanks to recent interviews and other info that is out there. Will mythical creatures, like we saw in Odyssey, be back in this game? We learned about a new quest in the game as well, and way more. So a like as always would be super appreciated. And let's go. As always, I'd like to remind you at the start of the video about my second May giveaway for a 2020 game of your choice on your platform of choice. So just follow the link in the pinned comment for a chance to win, and be sure you are a subscriber of the channel before you enter, and I will reach out to the winner via the mail. Okay, now let's go back to that cinematic trailer, because the question really is, does Eivor indeed see Odin on the battlefield? Eivor at least believes it, and this gives everyone the extra courage and power to fight the Saxon soldiers. And this is how Ashraf, the creative director on the game, also described it to me in a recent interview. How the Norse mythology is grounded in their day-to-day life, like the Vikings see signs, like if they see a squirrel running by, then they believe that that has a meaning. Another example of mythology in this game is earlier in the cinematic, where we see Eivor walk up to the statue of Odin. The village just made an offer, likely sacrificed a beast in front of the gods, and I think Eivor here gets the blood from this animal on his head to hopefully get more success on his journey to England. But we also see an Uppsala here at the start of the teaser trailer from the looks of it, and this is basically a Viking church or temple with statues of Thor, Odin and Freya, and this is likely where we will go to early in the game in Norway, as we saw in this screenshot as well. Because if we compare it to this shot from the TV show Vikings, and thanks to Lucas for sharing the connection, we see that there are some similarities for sure. And in the TV show, they go here for a special festival that is every 9 years, where they feast and make sacrifices. So curious if something like that will be in the game as well. So the angle that we are approaching with is that Eivor is someone who believes, of course, in these sagas and stories of the gods. This is part of the culture, Ashraf said to press start. But it's also an Assassin's Creed game, so there's likely more going on, right? And in the French interview from Julien we touched on in previous videos as well, the producer on Valhalla notes that they found a way to include it into the story and the lore as well, although he would not say anything more. So I'm sure that there's more going on than meets the eye at first. Most recently, in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, we could of course meet Hades and Poseidon in the Fate of Atlantis DLC, among others. They were Isu, the ones who came before, but yeah, it seems like Valhalla will not get as crazy, at least not in the main game. Valhalla will take a more grounded approach. I'm not going to go too much further than that, but this is the same team that made Origins, and our feeling about how to integrate mythology is similar, Darby said. Maybe you remember people freaking out about the giant snake at the end of the Assassin's Creed Origins reveal trailer. Was Assassin's Creed turning into this fantasy game? And around that reveal, Ashraf told Eurogamer that the giant snake would be fully justified, and well, when playing Origins, we indeed saw that this was more like a bad trip after performing a ritual. And I'm happy that they put stuff like this still in the game. Running through this temple, already seeing the snake was awesome. It was like nothing you had seen in the game before, and the fight was a nice change of pace too. So there is a chance that stuff like this will be in Valhalla, but what is important is that there should be a good explanation for it. So high chance that fighting mythical creatures like we could in Odyssey will not be in Valhalla, as they were kind of like over the top and they weren't really explained well in that game. I still love the encounters though, especially now that the game is more of an RPG, and these bosses were really one of the only enemies where you could test your newly made build. But yeah, I would not expect them in Valhalla, because we also had this article on the German GameStar talking about how this will be more down-to-earth mythology, saying that narrative director Darby wants to achieve the goal by telling a more down-to-earth story, so comparable to Origins. But Origins did have the trial of the gods, and the simple explanation they gave for that was that there was a glitch in the Animus that would have these enormous versions of Anubis, Sobek and Segment appear. I did not really care how they would appear though, because the content was super unique and maybe a little easy because they were hyping this up as this big max level hardcore challenge. And sure, the hard mode that released later did help, but really like overall the skill and seeing these gods being represented in a way like this was just super cool. And as you might know, these Trial of the Gods were first called Juno events before the game was out. But I guess that they did not want to bring back this main villain because then newcomers would not understand what was going on, and Juno's story was later concluded in a comic. So yes, the Norse mythology will play a big part in Valhalla, although there has to be an explanation behind it from the sounds of it. And with that in mind, it is interesting to look at the new Season Pass mission that was revealed in the German Ubisoft store called The Legend of Beowulf. And thanks to the power of Google Translate, we know that this says discover the cruel truth behind the legend. And thanks to Kapil for reaching out to me about this on Twitter. So this is the oldest existing English poem that takes place in Scandinavia and is all about a soldier named Beowulf who defeats an evil monster called Grendel. And after that, the mother of this creature wants revenge, so then Beowulf kills her as well. And I love the animations from this Course Hero video that I totally recommend that you watch to learn more about Beowulf. You can find a link to it in the video description. But yeah, while this story includes these mythical beasts and a dragon later on as well, I don't think we will actually fight them in this mission. While the locations mentioned in this poem were found in real life, so maybe we will visit them and then figure out what actually happened. Like, I think that will be the approach, although I would have preferred a dragon battle, of course, myself. Overall though, I do think that this mission will be very interesting to see their take on this very famous poem. And I think it will give us a cool, unique reward as well. Like maybe the sword that kills the mother of Grendel, or maybe some other treasures from Beowulf. And especially with the gear system only containing unique items, I would not be surprised if we got a pretty cool reward from this one. So it is included in the Season Pass. It's kind of similar to the Secrets of Greece mission from Odyssey, I would imagine. So it will likely be available at the launch if you have the Season Pass, or you can play it later whenever you buy the Season Pass. And we already see a cool connection with the Norse mythology and the AC lore, and that is for the Eagle Vision. That is called Odin's Sight in this game, and that was actually already the case in the Fate of the Gods Lost Descendants novel, as Access the Animus noted. That's still awesome to read for sure. I will totally be looking into that. So I'm really curious how this will play a role in combination with our Raven, because as we saw at the end of the teaser trailer as well, we got this huge Raven companion, of course, landing on our shoulder, and I'm sure that we can use it just like Senu and Icarus. But yeah, as far as I know, we still don't know the official name for our companion in Valhalla. Darby did quickly touch a little bit on that in their trailer breakdown though.
In the myths, Odin has two ravens, Hugin and Munin, which are a thought and memory. They come from the words thought and memory, and they were just his two companions that would help him gather knowledge and wisdom about the world.
So maybe the name of our Raven is Munin, because we are reliving memories. Great theory from Isaac, who shared this via input@JorRaptor.com. And of course, if you have any finds or theories, share them as well via that email. And Darth Vader also reached out, yeah, the one and only, and he made a good point that our longship design in that recent teaser trailer as well has two ravens on it. And that's likely a reference to the two birds of Odin. And thanks to that teaser trailer and the snowy screenshot we already looked at before, we know that we can get our Raven very early in the game in Norway, kind of comparable to Origins and Odyssey, where we also got it very early in the game. Still very curious how they will change this familiar gameplay up from Origins and Odyssey. We know there will be new abilities for our Raven, but now that we also have the Odin Sight, I'm curious what our role will be for our bird. I just want to see it in action, and hopefully that is earlier than that Ubisoft E3 style event that they announced for July 12th. When we know more, I will of course let you know here, so totally subscribe if you are new for everything on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I got some other cool videos coming to you very soon, and of course, when we finally have that gameplay reveal, I'll be the first to tell you. Like this video to support the channel, check out that giveaway in the pinned comment. And totally check out my previous video on how the map will be slightly bigger than in Odyssey. We learned some other interesting details as well regarding Izu temples and way more. For now though, I will speak to you next time. Have a good one and goodbye.